loves, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jess from BehatiLife. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is your Astro, Tarot, and Intuitive forecast for the week of February 12th, 2018. The first thing that jumps out to me this week is the idea and image of love, romance, twin flames, and soulmates, and not because Valentine's Day is on Wednesday, even though it's really interesting that the day of love falls on this week and is working so perfectly with the energy of the cosmos and the planets as they are aligning in order to bring in divine, perfect love. Why is this? I don't even want to talk about the other transits that are happening. I want to focus on these areas of love and doors opening and fresh energy specifically before I get into everything else. But I know that I need to take it one step at a time because I do have a tendency to get super excited and stumble over my words and run off on a trail because astrology, tarot, and intuitive messages are my passion, and I love sharing that with you guys here. So first things first, the first thing that I want to talk about is the fact that Venus entered into the sign of Pisces on the 10th, which was a Saturday. Yes, a Saturday is last week, technically, but the energy of that planet is starting to build up and feel strong this week. Venus naturally rules beauty, attraction, love, relationships, aesthetic, money. So when Venus moves into the sign of Pisces, the sign of imagination and ethereal energy and creativity and compassion and unconditional love and soulmates and twin flames and karma and destiny, you know, these type of elements and energy begin to infuse their way into our daily life. We can't help but to believe again in romance and destiny and true love and love conquering all, because that is the element and energy and idealistic vision of Pisces. Now for a lot of us here, grounded in reality sometimes, especially as Saturn is sitting in the sign of Capricorn, it's really hard for us to step into this idealistic vision of love and romance and partnership because our perspective on things is so overly grounded. But every sign serves its purpose and every sign holds its truth. And with Pisces, it wants to remind us and to bring us into this energy of healing, of compassion, of giving and receiving love, of drifting off into this cloud, because if we allow ourselves to experience that as well as experience the other truths of life that can be harsh or that can be grounding or whatever the case may be, what we have is well-rounded picture and well-rounded life. So you can have structure and stability, you can have responsibility and commitment, you can have ideas and logic, as well as imagination, intuition, romance, compassion, healing. All of those things, they work together in order to create a life that is truly magical. And we can't have one without the other. And why would we want too much of one thing and not enough of the other? So balance is key. And this week, we really want to focus on and be open to the idea of allowing ourselves to believe again in true love and to open up to true love. And sometimes it's not another partner. Sometimes it's not focused on an external person. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's coming from within ourselves and being compassionate and loving and gracious to ourselves. So even though you may be in a partnership, or even if you're single, you can still work this energy, and you should work this energy for your highest and greatest good and for your maximum benefit. Interestingly enough, I can't ignore the fact that the last 2 weeks, pretty much, I've been telling you guys that independence and striking off on your own path is something that we cannot ignore or deny. This is because Sun is moving through the sign of Aquarius. Venus is moving through the sign of Aquarius. This solar eclipse that I haven't even had the chance to talk about yet, but I'm going to in this video, is all happening within the sign of Aquarius. Venus was just in the sign of Aquarius, and Aquarius is the sign that rules this kind of like emotional detachment. It thinks about the greater good and less about the self. But at the same time, serving the greater good is serving the self, interestingly enough, as that works out. So for a lot of ways, I was telling you guys to get out, to explore, to to engage in new types of groups, to converse with new types of communities. Aquarius is ruled by the energy of Uranus, the planet Uranus, and Uranus has this element of innovation and striking out and trying things new and different from whatever it is your normal, whatever is traditional to you, kind of breaking away from that, freeing yourself from that boxed way of doing things the same way all the time and trying something new. If you do that during these last 2 weeks, you would see that you would be meeting new people, trying new things, finding new passions, and learning new things about yourself, and also things that you want to do with your career, your health, etc., etc. The list goes on and on. So that's something that you should be able to see this week. The element of Aquarius and Uranus is still very, very strong this week. On the flip side, again, there is this energy, an element of being romantic and thinking about soulmates and twin flames without having to completely sacrifice yourself, without having to completely lose yourself. This is about, when I look at the chart, the first thing that I see is by staying your authentic, true self. Whatever it is that interests you, whatever it is that grinds your gears, whatever it is that makes you so passionate, who you are to your core, be in a space of unconditionally loving that. As Pisces is now moving through the sign of, as Venus is now moving through the sign of Pisces, the Sun and Mercury will join her later on at the end of this week on Sunday, and that energy is going to be intensified even more so. This solar eclipse that's happening in the sign of Aquarius is a new moon, but a new moon intensified. The solar eclipse has powerful energy. It wants to swing doors open. The element of surprise and innovation and fresh life breathing into your personal life is so strong and so key here. Again, this solar eclipse is happening in the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is all about detachment in order to see the greater good. But really what it is that I'm seeing is kind of allowing yourself to float like a feather on this cloud of where the universe kind of wants to take you so that you can karmically be in alignment with exactly where it is that you need to be with perfect timing. This is because the vertex point is perfectly aspected. The vertex point is a point within the chart and within the cosmos that shows fated encounters and things that are designed and destined to happen within your life. Not only is this eclipse super close to the vertex point, very like squaring it at a hard angle, which means that it's hitting it in a strong way. It's aspecting it, nudging it, triggering it in a strong way, but also Neptune, which rules Pisces, the energy of Pisces is being amplified during this time, is also squaring, triggering the vertex point, bringing out fated encounters, people that are forced into your life, or situations or circumstances, career, whatever it is that is forced into your life for your highest and greatest good. Now remember that Neptune is the planet, again, of illusion, but also it rules like our idealistic vision and fate and things that we can only ever dream of, that the person who is the dreamer is the one who can actually have the potential to experience it because they believed in it enough that it could happen. And with this Pisces energy and also the element of Aquarius here that's asking you to strike fresh and new and be free and to release yourself from anything that's been holding you down, these burdens. This energy of Pisces and freshness and new beginnings are things that it's like you really want to allow yourself to be cosmically redirected to exactly where it is that you want to go. It's something that is intuitively going to be felt, and then you have to act upon that intuition. Why is action so important? Well, anytime when you're working magic and intentions, action is very key. But also Mars, the planet of drive, ambition, and action, is directly opposite this vertex point on the lunar eclipse. So that's something else that I felt was really important that we should talk about. Moving a few steps back, on the 13th, Mercury, currently at that time, will be sitting within the sign of Aquarius. Again, this is about thinking outside of the box, trying new things, deviating, striking out, being fresh, being innovative, allowing yourself to Watch what it is that you're gravitating towards. Watch what interests you, what intellectually stimulates you, and moving towards that. It's going to be squaring off with Jupiter. Now with this, you really want to be careful. This isn't so bad, but it's something that I want you guys to be aware of. There is a tendency to over-exaggerate. There's a tendency to kind of blow things out of proportion, to overpromise. So and it's almost as if we are feeling very overconfident, that we feel like we can do all these things or whatever the case may be. But the thing is that when you have the eclipse building, you have energy building. When you have the planets shifting, when you have Uranus who's coming in and shaking the energy of the eclipse up and the cosmos in general, you have to kind of be open to the element of surprise. Anything can fly in at any point, so you want to be sure that you're not over promising, you're not overdoing it, you're not overextending yourself and then leaving people disappointed. Also, with this eclipse, there is the chance for a lot of opportunities to come in, to fly in out of nowhere. So with that, you want to make sure that you are not overdoing it. As far as saying, yes, you can do this, you have to make it really clear as far as what you can and cannot do and cut certain things out. Again, this eclipse is all about being free and having no burdens on your shoulders, not carrying any more heavy weight. As Saturn is currently moving through the sign of Capricorn, that happened months ago, but the energy of that is now beginning to show those lessons. The universe, the planets in that way are giving you enough responsibility and burden to carry that you don't need to put more on yourself than you're already dealing with. Don't do it. Don't do it. So be very mindful, be very careful about what it is that you are promising and what it is that you say that you can and cannot do. Again, on the 14th, there's this other energy, and that's the Valentine's Day. On the 14th, there's the element and energy of surprise. Aquarius, again, likes to do things differently. If you are single, this is something that I think is really, really extra important. You should get out and circulate. If you don't have a date, try and get with your friends a day before, the day of, or at some point this week. Maybe get out and about. Don't be locked up in your house. You really want to kind of go out and look pretty, put that time and attention into yourself. Neptune and Pisces, again, rules this kind of like veil. So this is where you paint yourself, you make yourself look, pretty as much as you feel comfortable with, whatever that means to you. If that means wearing body butters, if that means or oils, if that means wearing makeup, perfume, doing your hair, whatever the case may be, wearing something that makes you feel ethereal and like a goddess, that's what you should be doing. Men, you too. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself and you're just going out and about and circulating. This is because fated encounters are at their most high. Not just any type of fated encounters, but soulmates and twin flames. Literally, people are going to be forced together, and you cannot be forced together if you are fighting that wave by saying, no, my true love will come to me at this doorstep. Like, why would he be coming to your door unless you're making that phone call action to have him come in and fix your pipes? No pun intended. But no, seriously, action. Get out and about, circulate, get yourself out there, try something new, go out with your girlfriends. Do not close yourself off. I should make a video about energy and attracting partners in to your life. If you want to see a video about that, thumbs up or comment it down below. I can tell you like fail-proof ways of bringing people in and bringing energy in and soulmates and potential partners and dating across the board. I love talking about relationships. So, and in a lot of ways, I feel like it's my expertise. But let me know if you would like to hear that video. So again, and the element of surprise and, just people coming together randomly is very, very high this week, and I don't want anybody to miss it, especially if you want to be in a relationship, especially if you want to make new friends, especially if you want to learn new things about new people. Don't close yourself off. You have to be out and about. It's the element of air and the element of surprise is so high that you are going to be disappointed. Disappointed if you allow these opportunities to pass themselves. The universe can only open the door. It's up to you to walk through it. The other thing that I want to remind you guys of is to set intentions and to work your magic, whatever that means for you, before the eclipse and during the eclipse. I myself will be, without a doubt, working on love spell oils, glamour oils, and the other oils that are drawn to me, as well as an Aquarius energy oil during the eclipse for those that want to capitalize on this energy. All of those links will be in my bio, and the details for those oils will be posted on my Instagram in the next few days. But for anybody else that, will be working their magic or setting their intention, be open. Don't hold yourself back. Don't limit yourself. No fear. Write down exactly what it is that you want on a piece of paper, preferably red pen or Sharpie. Fold it up. Set an intention. Put it away and live your life. Don't think about it. Just allow the universe to take you. Everything will be completely, perfectly, karmically handled for your highest and greatest good. The other thing that I want to talk about is on Saturday, on the 17th, the Mercury, the planet of drive and ambition, is going to be squaring off with Neptune. This, as much as I was talking about the positive aspects of Neptune and Pisces, Mars squaring off with Neptune in this way creates a lot of conflict, a lot of tension. We're already going to be feeling it a lot. It's hard for us to kind of walk clear and focused. Again, this is kind of like people who are blind and just kind of tapping their way, but instead of slowing down, they kind of charge forward. And really what this means is drugs, alcohol, anything that makes you under the influence, and purposely like rushing into things, purposely speeding into things. And I'm not talking about love and relationships, because sometimes when you feel it, you feel it. What I am talking about is like safety and judgment calls. Be mindful, because this type of influence makes you very, very cloudy and can put you in a very accident prone, or a tendency to overindulge or what's the word? When you take too much of something. I forget the word right now. It's probably Mars squaring off and Neptune making me cloudy now with this. On the flip side of that, interestingly enough, Sun and Mercury are going to be sitting right on top of each other in the sign of Aquarius. They're going to be conjunct in the sign of Aquarius. Normally, this makes the element of these planets highlighted and brings out their best. So people tend to be a little bit more wittier. They tend to be a little bit more quick to respond to things. They tend to focus on quick responses and being very intellectual and stating their thoughts very clear. So with that, the mind is everything, communication is everything, but remember not to kind of charge forward or rush forward with anything again, because Mars square Neptune can be very dangerous. I want to say that. And at the very end of this week, Mercury, the planet of communication, finally moves into the sign of Pisces. This is phenomenal for artists, for dreamers, for people who are writing, for bloggers, for people who are creative, for people who, again, are setting intentions and magic. This energy and element works perfectly. If you're an intuitive, you're going to start getting those pings. You're going to start feeling those like webs on your nose. You're going to start seeing spirits, hearing angels. Those types of things are heightened during this time. That's because the mind, the intuition is far more open in the sign of Pisces. Neptune rules this type of communication and angelic connection. So that's something else too, that for those of you guys who are focused and interested in spiritual development and developing your gifts, this is the perfect time to begin to work on that and focus on that. And also, Sun is moving into the sign of Pisces to be there for the next 28 to 30 days. So for that, during that time frame, that time period, love and healing and compassion and spirituality and creativity and expression is your everything. All right, so let me know how you guys are feeling. Let me know how this worked out for you. I'm going back to the video that I did last week about the element of surprise and reading all of your comments. Yes, I read all of your comments. I try my best to respond to everybody. And if I don't respond back, that doesn't mean that I haven't read it, because I have. I just am doing my best to stay up on communication with everybody as much as I can. But every comment makes a difference. Every thumbs up makes a huge difference. Every subscription makes a huge difference. And either way, it all means a lot to me. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.